I found this at the store the other day. I wasn't entirely sure what it was, or if I'd even like it, but I bought it anyways. Let's find out what it is together. Well, that's a relief. It's not quite fully a sculpture, nor fully a canvas. It's something in the middle. And from the packaging, I gathered that it was to be painted and displayed in a frame. So I made sure to grab one that was the right size and in the proper Baroque style for the character. I saw a few of these things at a local gaming store of mine in the painting section, and the choice came down to either this guy or a two-headed orc. I went with this one because it has a fish, and I saw it as a fun opportunity to make a self-portrait of my logo, of the Centropage boilei, or peppermint angelfish. The first thing I did was to prime it. The first thing I should have done is to wash it, because the point of the primer is to get paint to stick to it. If the primer doesn't even stick itself, what's the point of the primer? I mixed up an acrylic red and black to make a nice dark brown, and I realized a little late that I had missed the washing step, because the primer beat it up all over the surface. Anyway, I took that to the sink and I gave it a scrub with dish soap and warm water, and then I finished the priming. At this point, we can now see better where the highlights need to be from different light angles. So I picked one that I liked and I took a photo of it, and that way I had a reference for when I added the highlights later. Aside from the backdrop, this airbrushing step is not going to be visible in the end. I mostly did this to get a better picture for where I wanted the light to come from and what it would look like as it cascaded over each of the surfaces. I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to say in this video, but I do want to do more than just narrate what's happening on screen, because I don't want anybody to fall asleep. Although I have received that as a compliment in the comments many times, that people watch my videos to go to sleep, like white noise or gentle rain sounds. The rest of the comments on my voice are either, are you sick or are you sad? Right now, neither. Thank you for asking. With the base coats established, it was time to break out the wet palette, and pretty much the rest of the paint job will be done with a paintbrush. I loaded up my palette with Roy G. Biv, ice yellow, black, and white, and then I began establishing the base coats. In addition to getting "Are you sleepy" or "Are you sad" comments, I also get a lot of Bob Ross comparisons, but that probably has less to do with how I sound and more just the way I present. You get a lot of comments. Is this guy Bob Ross? This guy's like Bob Ross. This is the Bob Ross of dioramas. Why is nobody in the comments talking about how much this guy is like Bob Ross? If Bob Ross had a son. I think he did have a son, honestly. Well, I'm not related to Bob Ross, nor does my hair look like his, at least most of the time, but I do appreciate the laid-back tone that Bob Ross took with his presentation. Honestly, one of my biggest inspirations for the calm and toned-down presentation over top of art visuals was actually a channel I discovered back in 2012 or 13, and that was Peter Draws. I really enjoy watching him doodle and draw random stuff while talking about anything and everything, sometimes related to what's happening on screen. Sometimes he narrates his process. Other times he just shares ideas and stories or memories. A lot of unscripted trails of thought. I remember watching him back in the day and thinking, if I ever started a channel, I'd like to do something similar. Probably won't be with doodling, but I would like to do something similar. I really appreciated the calming nature of his presentation and just kind of the realness of it. But he's actually been sitting at just under 1 million subs for a very long time now. So I think it would be awesome, now that I'm thinking about it, if as many of you as possible watching this video could go over and subscribe to him if you're not already, and help him get to 1 million subscribers. I think that would be a fun gift to give to him for inspiring me. If you've enjoyed my videos, you actually have him to thank as well. So go do that. He only needs like 7,000 more. After all of the base coats were on, I began picking out the details and working in smaller and smaller areas. I believe this thing is intended to be something of a practice board for painting materials and textures. So I tried to have fun with it and actually try some new things along the way. Another thing that gets brought up in the comments fairly often is the fish logo and my channel name. What is Boileye? Is that like a first name, a last name? What is a Boileye? And what does it have to do with dioramas? Well, it's actually kind of a funny story. Well, I don't know how funny of a story it is, but I'll tell it anyways. Back in 2017, I played a silly mobile game called Tap Tap Fish Abyssarium, which was a lot of fun. I wasn't in a position to have my own saltwater aquarium at the time. I'm still not. But I was very intrigued by it. So I did the second best thing I could, which was to live vicariously through aquarium channels on YouTube and play my little aquarium mobile game. It's one of those games that you can just have open and you don't really need to pay attention to it. And you can, it sends you little reminders and you just tap on it for a few minutes. Anyway, after a very long time of playing it, the last fish that you unlock, at least at the time, was the 1,000-year-old blue whale. To unlock the whale, you had to have every other fish in the aquarium unlocked, and I was only a handful of fish away from doing that. There was one of those fish, though, that required that you be signed into Facebook and have at least 5 friends who also played the game signed in on their Facebooks. I didn't want everybody in the world to know that I was playing this game, so I put this off until way later than I should have. When I logged into my Facebook, I only had 2 friends who also played the game, and I wasn't about to go asking people to waste their time on this game. But I saw that my wife had 5 friends that played, and so we logged my aquarium into her Facebook on my phone. Problem is, the tanks are not transferable, and you're limited to 1 per Facebook account. So when she logged into her account through my aquarium, it replaced my aquarium with her aquarium. She didn't play the game, so the aquarium was completely empty except for 1 fish that was unlocked because of Facebook. My entire aquarium and all the fish were gone, unretrievable. I know now, and I knew then, that it was a silly mobile game, and I shouldn't be too sad about it. But I was devastated. I had worked a long time on building that aquarium, and it was my only way to engage in the aquarium hobby in like a collecting manner. I saw this beautiful aquascape with hundreds of fish reduced down to this desolate one with just one solitary fish swimming around. And that fish was the juvenile pinnate spadefish. I knew you were probably expecting I was going to say it was the peppermint angelfish, the logo of my channel, but it wasn't. I like to subvert expectations like Ryan Johnson. The peppermint angelfish was probably my favorite of all of the fish in my aquarium before it was destroyed. It had really cool coloration for an angelfish, and it swam around really gently and peacefully. It was fun to watch. So when I started my channel, I actually considered potentially doing aquariums as well. I had this long-term dream of maybe eventually having a peppermint angelfish in my aquarium, which is actually kind of ridiculous because one of them costs $20,000 to $30,000. It's like super rare and expensive. So like not practical at all. Anyway, that's my story of how the peppermint angelfish, or the Centropage boileye, became the logo and name of my channel. Super random. It had nothing to do with miniatures and dioramas when I first thought it up. On that note, back to what's happening on screen. Here you can see me adding in all of the finest brush strokes, rendering all of the final details, and adding those little hairline highlights on the fur, the skin, the metal. Also went back in and added some washes as glazes. I thinned those down. Just give a little bit of color variation to to the different surfaces. And this is why I didn't talk about painting the whole time, because I'm having trouble even now talking about what's happening on screen. But this is a sepia wash because I wanted it to look a little bit older. Sepia always makes things look old. After it was dry, I flipped it over, put it in its frame, and I called it good. Now it's ready to go sit and be a conversation starter for Tap Tap Fish, Abyssarium. That is it for this video. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Huge shout out as always to my patrons. You guys are the best. And don't forget to subscribe to Peter Draws. I'm counting on you. Have a great week, everyone. I'll see you next time.